Muy buenas noches to everyone. I hope everybody's doing well and as always enjoying family. Again, Tony, gracias for allowing me to get on your platform. Stories written by a current prisoner to share my stories. And before I start with the story, como siempre, muchísimas gracias a todos for you guys' kind words, your prayers, and for the time you take to express them and send them my way. Thank you again. Okay, well, for this story, I'm gonna just go back a little bit. I wanted to touch on it a little while back. Um, it's just about an incident that happened in Ironwood, with a norteño. It's been. I want to touch on it because to me it's important how raza in general we tend to be loyal to the point where from being down or having them well said on you for the causa you're representing, it just becomes something dumb, something that our loyalty seems to blind us to what really is, which is a bunch of vatos just taking advantage of us. To be sincere, taking something that should be solid, clean, and pure to using it for their benefit. But anyways, I disculpen for sidetracking. Okay, for this, this was right when I got to Ironwood. I uh, I still did not have the yard. I had gotten there in a classification building. Was one block. I remember I had just gotten off classification, and but they leave you there till they find a proper cell to move you, or till they need the cell, for new reds. But when I got there, I remember I just come out and what was on everybody's boca or conversation was that there was a norteño there. He was from San Jose. His name was Sharkey. From San Jose. I couldn't really tell you what neighborhood he was from. I just remember that he was from San Jose because he had it really good blasted on his stomach. And they were all waiting for him to come out. As everybody knew at this time, there was no norteños in Ironwood. It was all camaradas or sureños, and so everybody was organizing to receive him. It was them time at wars. It went both ways. A sureño got to a yard where there was no norteños. They're gonna plot to get you. This was the case here, and I want to keep it 100 with you guys. Where I was at in classification, I was a cell away from him. At this time, I was still, fairly new, gotten busted, so my tendencies to look at norteños were a lot different than what they are now or what they were throughout the years. And this was just one of those cases that really stuck out to me. It really made me see norteños more on a same level as we were. Before this, I had that ignorance to myself. It was just ignorant. I'll just leave it at that. But I feel sorry for the vato. And I don't say it to minimize him or in any way, shape, or form. It was just this was a Sureño yard. Where the biggest population were Sureños. So I remember my cell was next to his, and one time I went up to him and I asked him, that's how I found his placazo, and he straight up, basically he banged on me, I don't need to put it out there. Everybody knows how that goes, and he told me who his were, and the city where he's from, and the site he was from. And I told him, hey, this ain't a good spot for you to come out. And he basically, told me off. I don't need to put those words out there, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. So I just left it alone. Anyways, at this time, time went by, and the time came where they let him out. He went to committee, and I guess he had to go up in there and basically tell him, that he could program to get out. And I don't know if everybody's aware how the yard is squared up, but it's basically right outside of one building is the volleyball courts, and right next to the volleyball courts is the baseball field. And at this time there was a big old game of baseball going on between the Gavas and the homies, the Sureños. It was so by this time everybody was aware that he was gonna come out because the tier tender or the guy that supported committee. There's always one of those that works for committee, usually a lifer. He had already put the word out there that it was a day they were gonna clear him for yard. So basically, everybody thought that, he was gonna come out scary or worry about his surroundings or everything, but that wasn't the case. My respects go out to this individual because he knew exactly what time it was. He knew where he was at. He knew where he was going to be facing, and he still went out there, had himself a little piece, and he went out there and I don't know if his anger or his will of drive towards proving a point blinded him, but he rushed the softball field. He had his little thing with him, and he got the first homie. He got him good across the face, and but right after that, man, it went really bad for him. They binked on him, and but at this time I was receiving canteen, so I was a little bit away. All I could tell you is they went to town. But I don't take nothing from this guy. Every time they binked him to the floor, he got up and he kept trying to push. Anyways, they got the yard down. They for being outnumbered so bad, it didn't go that bad. Got a couple of beans from a bat and this and that, but he was still able to walk off the yard. And the reason why I'm touching on this, as you guys will see, is time passed by. But his name always stuck up with me, Sharkey from San Jose, and for the simple reason, that San Jose ain't too far from Santa Rosa, so I was constantly in San Jose with family members, and but throughout the years, things ended up occurring as I have put out there with you guys, and I ended up in Tehachapi, and in Tehachapi, you know, uh, when that issue happened on the 180, they put us in overflow for a couple days, and there was a big old thing with a paisa. He basically sealed them up. We were on one side of the building, and they were on the other side, the norteños, and basically they put him on the other side of the building, and he was shooting wheelers to me and my primo Tito. We were sealed up at this time, and I don't know. The next thing you know, we just heard on the tier, hey Sharky, handle that, and he took off. He put hands on the paisa. So time went by, and we ended up, going our separate ways. They ended up moving us to A Block and B Yard, and I know nothing. I didn't even get to see if it was him till later on. I found out that it was him, and things secured the way I've told you guys here in Tehachapi. So we're in Corcoran. So at this time, you know, we're there and we came out to the dog cages on B Yard and I happened to see him, and by this time I knew who he was, but we were back there to the point where, we couldn't really do nothing. And over some dumb wheeler, it was some petty wheeler that got caught, by the police. They had Sharkey move on him. By this time he was one of our main targets there because he was putting in a lot of work, for his side, and so there was a lot of hurt feelings, to say the least, from our side. So we knew if doors cracked, he was one of the main objectives. But we didn't have that opportunity because they had a Selly stab him up pretty good. Then we found out that it had to do with a girl that happened to be, you know, jumping ships, doing her thing on the streets, and I guess the other person she was doing it with somehow, some ways had some strings attached to an NF member, and Sharky's career got taken from him. And this is when I started seeing, that norteños were gente regardless. We go through the same struggles. We try for the same thing, and at the end of the day, it don't matter how much you put in for your causa. The decision belongs to some dope fiends, some power hungry battles that don't really care about sur or norte. They have nothing to do with that no more. And it took me a long time to actually really pay attention to this. I really thought a sureño defined himself by 3 steps, well, 4 steps, excuse me, which was, Southsider, Sureño, Camarada, Denapili. But it's not that. Sureño stops at 3 steps. Once you become a Camarada, there ain't nothing after that, man. Once they bless you into that side, they have you renounce your loyalty to the sur or to the norte, and it's shown time and time again how there's an individual that have heart that is down, and for the simplest thing, you're replaceable. They're going to take your career, they're going to try to take your life, throw you to the other side, and what you did or that you thought you did that will show heart really have no meaning. They only care about one thing right now, which is what you can do for them to make them money and bring them dope. And that goes for both sides. And the reason I tell this story, because I've seen a lot of comments that been telling me to speak about norteños, and I wanted to speak on this case about, the homie Sharkey from San Ho, and what I have seen that had happened. The reason I know so much about it, because I remember Flaco from San Francisco. He was right next door to me, so we had that boombox, or that little hole in the wall that we could conversate on, and on top of it, we had 2 brothers, so we were able to conversate, and he felt some type of way about it, because I guess in that period of time that then I was going through my thing, he was doing his thing, Homo became an arm member, and he was doing his thing, correctly. It just became someone hooked him up with the pen pal, that pen pal had tail behind them, and they took his career. It didn't mean nothing, and it's the first time that I actually have seen, that while he was there, he was keeping solid. And I mean, to the point where he wasn't piecing up, he wasn't going to that side, and I remember what pushed him was they came up to him with that BS, you know, you could clear this up by paying a fine. And he took offense to it, as anyone should. You know how you get done dirty and then you still want money for me to go back to what? To get stomped on again? He was smart, he just, that's when he decided, you know what, I'm done. Which, I don't blame him. I really think that this norteño had a lot of heart, a lot of heart, because, in Ironwood, they were sleeping tough, because they were waiting on him for 3, 4 days, and he still came out and hoop bang, He represented what he was. He didn't do it like other vatos that I seen that were in the hole. The minute they got off the bus, they told him they couldn't program and went to the hole. Homeboy said he could program. He went out there and took care of business. But, had that same outcome of some dirty vatos, that don't care about the gente, All that we're doing this for the raza or the gente. When was the last time you actually see a movement that has to do with making our people better, making us stronger as a ranfla from either side? It's always about what you can do for them, and if you can't do it, then you're dead weight. You're taking space. Or in any way, shape, or form, someone shoots him a paper and tells him, hey, this individual, they're going to take care of you, period. Because a paper of dope is worth more than a soldado. And those are facts, And I tell you this because I was in the mix a lot, and so, sorry to say, that I was at one time part of it, part of basically politicking against someone, for all the wrong reasons, just to please a tecato or to serve a purpose for someone that did not care for the gente, and this story went with the message I've been trying to put out since day one, which is, smart up, be wise, love your loved ones, whatever your loved ones is, You have some solid camaradas on the streets that you could love. Family is more important than anything, Make a life. And it don't matter if you bang Sur, Norte, Bulldog, Paisa, Everyone should see things of what they are, And smart up, just smart up to the point where don't let another man dictate your life or dictate when it's worth something or when you're not worth something, and you're gonna get hurt behind his feelings or his vein. But mi gente, I just thought I would come on here and share this story with you guys. I want to go back and be touching on little incidents here and there that I held back for one reason or another. For example, on this, I've said it in other videos, I don't like to touch too much on norteños thing because I don't want to disrespect nobody, at all. That's the last I want to do. And I don't have a lot of knowledge on their movements and wiggling, so that's why I went real blunt and to the point with their story. I don't know his Shark's first story. I just know he got done dirty in that because I got told by another norteño that was back there validated at this time. Pero de nuevo, gracias por todo, and please stay true to yourself and loyal to your loved ones. Muchas gracias y espero en everybody's well always. Good night.